So, so what's life in Japan like? For any Westerner, it's quite different. I'll tell you that. For starters, the country is very small, about the size of California, but yet it manages to use its space very effectively. But that means that pretty much many buildings, for example, like houses, are tall and lean. Cars are small, and just about everything in Japan may feel a little bit smaller compared to the U.S. We had a joke about food being um, Japanese proportion size, or um, sometimes because I guess we're just used to larger things in the U.S. But not that that was a bad thing. I actually thought it was easier to get around because we rode our bike. Most people ride bikes or use public transportation or just walk, like buses and trains, very common. It's amazing because compared to U.S. Um, trains in Japan are almost exactly like on the minute, precise, on the dot, on time, every time. It's quite amazing. They're very efficient. Um, I mostly lived in small apartments. It's really common to live in a very teeny tiny apartment. My fiance took a look at some of the kitchens that we had here, even in like just a student apartment, and thought they were pretty big. Um, so, um, but no, I really enjoyed my time there because it's really fun to sleep in futon. It's not like the American futons. I only learned recently that's a different thing in the couches, but futon is like it's something it's like a mat you put on the ground and have these large sheets, and they're very comfortable. I slept in those most of the time while I was in Japan. And I cooked every day, something I wasn't as used to, but it's kind of easier because there's always a local grocery store, a konbini, like a little convenience store just around the corner. You can buy ingredients, and we'd make something like curry rice, hayashi, okonomiyaki, yakisoba. It's like oh, so many good foods. But it was actually fun to make those, and it was usually something. It was usually a joke of it's usually something on top of rice. um, and I can't get enough of rice though. Rice is good. And yeah, and we another fun thing is Japanese recycle a lot better than the U.S. But they also have there's sometimes a little bit of there's some stereotypes about Japanese recycling, how much effort goes into actually separating your recyclables. It's kind of true, actually. When I lived in Yamato, uh, or no, actually, when I lived in Fuchu, we actually had this very large poster. It was all in Japanese about how to separate trash, what day, burnables on this day, um, like old electronics on this day, and stuff like that. But it got so confusing on how, like, wait, where does like a bike saddle go? It's got some metal, it's got a rubber. It was just so hard for us. And so the landlords gave us an English version. It was still really difficult. Um, but life in Japan but it was great though. I mean, the food was great, and I like to go back and try karaoke. There's a lot of fun things to do too. That if I had once I go back to Japan, I'd really like to try. Um, yeah, but everything's smaller. Everyone's nice. It's fun. The food's great. Living is sometimes living space is a little bit small, but it's really comfortable. Yeah, that's life in Japan.